Hi, hola. Welcome back to Witches of the Moon. I'm the Humble Apprentice. I'm your Friday host. This is season 12, week 14. And this week's topic is teaching the craft to students. I think that anyone who has the opportunity to teach and has the experience should definitely go ahead and teach, because in teaching, both the student and the instructor learn. The teacher learns how to pass on the information so that somebody else can learn it. And you learn to explain the information in different ways, maybe differently than how you learned it, so that the student can learn it. So you have to wrap your mind around the information from different angles. You have to really understand what you're talking about in order to pass on the wisdom or the experience that you have, that you've gathered. Also, in helping somebody else learn, you're guiding the next generation. You're enriching the lives of other people, of the next generation, so that all the experience that you have doesn't just disappear, so that it's passed on, so that you make an impact on the next practitioner, the next witch or druid, or whatever path you're walking, whatever practice you keep. Teaching is fantastic. Teaching helps us learn. Also, for many generations, that's the more traditional way of passing on a magical tradition, is hands-on learning, and quote unquote, it is our practice, right? It's what we do. And the best way for me to learn is to not just read a book, but to practice with somebody else, to do and feel how they practice and why they do certain things, why they approach the altar from a certain direction, why they light the candles the way they do, how they walk around the circle, how they chant, how they project their voice, how they fluctuate the tone in their chants, how they vibrate, their vocal cords, how they go into a meditative mind, or how they reach the state to be able to perform the magic or the ritual. So a lot of the things that I've learned from people have been from watching and learning and feeling what they do during their practice. A lot of the things that you learn as a student aren't just the mechanics of ritual, aren't just the method of doing a ritual. The way you do the things you do during spell casting are a lot easier to learn from somebody else in person. So I know that right now there is a renaissance, an opening into magic and into ritual and into the occult practices because of our ability to connect via the internet, and we can, practice all different kinds of paths and learn from all different kinds of people from all over the world because our ability of the internet. We have access that we didn't have before. But there is something definitely important about the physical ability of learning through the physical experience of doing something and having somebody guide you through it, especially your first few times. So yeah, teaching and learning are both very important in the craft. I love being on both sides, being a teacher and learning as well. One thing though, I must explain that because of the nature of our practice, the students that we are legally able to teach in most of the United States have to be of legal age, which in 48 states out of the 50 states, the age is 18. But in Nebraska, the legal age is 19 years old, and in Mississippi, it is 21. So, in order to stay out of any legal entanglement, there are age restrictions in teaching the craft to anyone under legal age. The charges can be little or great. You can be charged with interfering with parental rights, interfering with the upbringing of a minor, or contributing to the delinquency of a minor. So, if you have the opportunity to teach somebody and they are minors in your state, it is recommended that you get something in writing directly from the parent. And if I would speak directly to the parent and get their approval before I had any interaction with their child, simply because even though right now we're not being persecuted openly, there is legal precedence that determines the age at which we can legally instruct a person without fear of legal prosecution, including, not limited to, being fined or incarcerated, thrown in jail. So there is that, but you can always just offer them guidance as to what books you could recommend until they reach the age of maturity in their state, or the legal age in their state. And that is not a problem, since those books are out there already. You could just guide them and point out what they should be reading, and that you can be there once they reach that the legal age. Teaching is a fantastic way for both the teacher and the student to learn and to go deeper into their practice. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening. Have a great weekend, and blessed be.